Hi everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy. You can see this straw. Okay. There's something about chapter 55. I don't know if that's a thing that I need to know about, but like it's not, I'm not even close to 55. Then I want to know, I want to know. It's like, I'm stressed. Oh. Where's that book? Hi everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with ACOMAF and ACOWAR. So if you've been on this channel in the last month or so, you guys will know that I am planning or trying to get both of these books done in June for the readathon that I am doing, and we're gonna see what happens. But I'm vlogging that normally, but I thought I'm going to do a separate vlog because I hate myself and I want all of the extra work of keeping all of these videos separate. But doing a spoilery vlog of my reading of the rest of the series, and because I'm trying to do both of these in the same month, I'm just going to go ahead and try to do both of these in the same video. So instead of doing separate videos for both of these, we're just going to pack them all into one. But I'm here because we're going to start ACOMAF, I almost said ACOWAR, ACOMAF today. It is Wednesday, and I have kind of a light rest of the week. I'm working from home tomorrow, and then the end of next week is also a light part of the week. So I'm going to try to do this one in the next couple of days to the weekend, and then the end of next week we'll try to do the third one. But yeah, just came on here to tell you that we're going to be starting this. I'm very excited. I have all of the thoughts, and I'm just, oh, I know this one is a lot of people's favorites. And I love the first one so much, so I cannot wait for it to just continue to get better and better. Yeah, let's get started. I'll make sure to leave the ACOTAR vlog above if you want to know my thoughts on the first book, spoilery, all that fun stuff. But let's jump right in. I'm very excited. Hello. I'm here. I haven't spoken to you in like 2 days because I've been reading straight for like 2 days. But I haven't had a lot of updates to give you while I'm reading this, but I was sitting here recording one of my videos and I thought I'll take advantage of the whole setup and everything. So I have been reading this like crazy. I am on chapter 42, which is 396 pages in. And y'all, I am enjoying this. Within the first 50 pages, I already despised Tamlin. I was done with him. And I know in the story that Tamlin is not her love interest. I know that eventually her love interest will be Rhysand. I didn't know that going into this, but I didn't realize it would be such a switch. I feel like it was a very, very quick thing of like, you immediately didn't like Tamlin for the things that he was doing. He was incredibly protective. He locked her in the house at one point. He like was gonna marry her, but like she also didn't feel like herself, and she's also dealing with a lot of trauma because of the stuff that happened in the first book, like when she had to kill those 3 fae, well, the 2 fae, and then the other one was supposed to be Tamlin, and then also when she died and was reborn. And so just like there's a lot of traumatic experiences that she had to go through in Amarantha's court at the end of the first book. And Tamlin doesn't understand that. I mean, he has trauma as well, but he kind of like tucks his trauma in and like doesn't ever speak about it. He like keeps his emotions right here and he bottles it up and he just never speaks about it. So she has nightmares every single night. She gets sick every single night and he never comes to comfort her. And that immediately I was like, I don't like him. And so she's in the spring court for 3 months, I think, before Rhysand comes to save her. On the day she was about to get married, I think she was having a panic attack as she was walking down the aisle because she was kind of like freaking out and not wanting to marry Tamlin, and then Rhys comes to take her away for that bargain they made of like, I'm gonna have you for once, or you're gonna come visit the night court 1 week a month. And so she goes and she feels better because like Rhys also understands kind of the trauma that she's going through. He had to do it as well. He's actually a very sweet human. Well, he's not human. He's actually a very sweet person. And I think them together just work. And so I'm really excited to see where that, goes, because she's been in the night court for a very long time. Basically, Rhys came to save her the one time she was locked in the house. And we've met Cassian and Azriel, which are the other 2 names that I know really, really well. I'm also 90% sure that Cassian and Nesta become a thing. And I know for a fact that Nesta comes to the Fae world. And so some of the lines that like she says of like, I'm never gonna step foot across the wall, I'm like, but you will. So there's just like a few things about this series that I already know going into it, but I don't know how we get there. We're just now starting to get into some of the cute scenes between them, and like they've been flirting this whole time. We all knew it. And so like, but now we're actually starting to see them flirt but kind of take it seriously, and I'm so there for it. I've also heard there's something about chapter 55. I don't know if that's a thing that I need to know about, but like I'm not even close to 55. And I want to know, I want to know. So I'm really enjoying this. Like I haven't updated you because I've just been plowing through this. I think it's fascinating. I love kind of her. I think one thing that I think is really fascinating about this world is when they kind of built Feyre, if you will, where all of the high lords of all the different courts kind of gave like a little light, a little part of their power to her. They actually transferred over some of her power. So like she can do these things that all of these different people from different courts can do. Like she can read people's minds and kind of go into people's minds like Rhysand can. She could put a barrier around her. I don't remember who that's from. She can shapeshift like Tamlin, but she's trying to really hard not to think about that. And so there's just like little things. She can do water and kind of like mess with water and the elements. And so it's just really interesting seeing her kind of discover these powers that she has and learn to use them and not let the like panic take over. And also like we get to see all of these fun other characters that I've heard things about, like the little group of friends that Rhysand has. Cassian, Azriel, Mor, and Amren are just like, I love them so much. And I cannot wait to see more Nesta and Cassian scenes because I know they're coming. They banter like nobody's business. And also like the whole the whole thing with the cauldron and the book and how she can like feel the book, and so they're going on this trip to try to figure out where the book is and get the book to stop the big bad guy from Hyperion to come over and control everything. And then like the relationships between her and her sisters, because like she's no longer human but she's still their sister, and so there's this big like push and pull with them, and seeing the different reactions from the two sisters. It's just very fascinating. So I'm definitely enjoying this. Will I finish this today? I highly doubt it. I have 4 hours left on my audiobook because I listened to it on like, I think I'm at 1.8 speed now is what I've decided. So I don't think I'm going to get through this book. Ooh, I'm losing my spot. I don't think I'm going to finish this book today, but I think I might finish it tomorrow. Just because like I need to keep going. I need to know what's going to happen. I'm afraid that like once we get within the last 100 pages, it's just going to be like, I just can't stop. So I'm really enjoying this. I understand why people are like, hold up, wait until you get to the second one. I agree. The second one is definitely better than the first one. I expect 5 stars from honestly all of these in the series. It's very good. I'm very excited. Oh, I finally am doing it. I can finally be in the know. It's a good feeling. Hello, 'tis me. I am here because I have finished ACOMAF, and I haven't put it through Copilot yet, but it's for sure gonna get 5 stars. Like, there is no question about that. I have no idea where I was when I talked to you last, but I know everyone is like, wait until you get to chapter 55. Well, I got to chapter 55 yesterday, and I understand. 54/55. I felt like 54 gives you like all of these answers you've been wanting for 2 books, and then 55 is just fun. And then like I literally had 60, 70 pages maybe to finish today, and I was like, what could happen in these last little bit of this story? Like, it was such a small chunk that I was like, nothing crazy can happen here, but also like something has to happen here. And I was wrong. Crazy things have happened. And like, I was gonna be really mad at Sarah J. Maas. Okay, hold on. Let me back up here a little bit. I was worried going into this book because, as I mentioned, I think in my previous vlog, is that I know there's a love interest change in this series. So like a lot of people say, don't get attached to Tamlin in the first book because he's not going to be the love interest. And I think I mentioned earlier in this vlog that within like the first 50 to 60 pages of this book, I already didn't like Tamlin. He was acting like a jerk, and I kind of felt like the author, I don't know if I was looking for reasons to not like him because I knew I wasn't going to like him, but he just kind of like, I felt like there was a switch and he just immediately was kind of not great. But at the same time, I was so worried there was going to be a love triangle in this book, and I do not like love triangles unless they're done really well. But the whole like, do I love this person? Do I love this person? You know, teenage me probably really enjoyed that, but me now I just was really worried that that's where this second book was going to go, where she was going to take the entire book of like Feyre going back and forth from Tamlin's courts to Rhysand's courts, and like, you know, that kind of thing. And that's, you know, not what happened. And so it's a lot more about her being in the Night Court. Maybe not in the Night Court, but like in, yeah, being in the Night Court, not the like Court of Nightmares, but just like being in his like realm and his lands and stuff, and especially seeing like the secret city, which was so fun, and like seeing her get connected with all these characters and seeing names that I knew like Cassian and Azriel, seeing those pop up was really fun. So I was really worried going into this, and I'm so happy that she didn't make this a love triangle. I was so glad about that. And I was very worried when we got to the end of this, because I didn't have a lot to talk about, because I feel like this book is less action-packed than, let's say, the first one, or when I've heard about the third one. I've heard the third one is much more plot-driven, whereas this one is very much focused on Feyre and dealing with trauma that she, you know, had after the end of the first book, dealing with a partner who was also going through trauma, but handled it in a very different way, where, like, Tamlin took all of this traumatic experience and kind of, like, pushed it down, and like whereas Feyre was quite literally withering away in his court and like didn't even eat, like threw up her food every single night, didn't eat, couldn't sleep, had nightmares, and like he's watching her do this and isn't doing anything about it, and that really annoyed me. And so seeing her kind of come out of her shell a little bit when Rhys takes her to his court, having her eat, having her become healthy again, having her train and learn about her abilities. It's much more, I wouldn't say character driven, because there's still a lot of plot stuff that happens, but it's significantly less plot driven than I would say probably the other two are going to be, or at least the first one is. But having this one be a lot more focused on her, learning about her abilities, dealing with trauma, learning to love Rhys, like all of those things, that's really what this is about. So there wasn't a whole lot of updates that I could give you on this one, but I just, 54 and 55 will stay in my heart forever. I understand why people love those. And then like everything happened in like the last 60 pages. I knew there was going to be something with Nesta and a cauldron. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew it was going to be something. And I didn't, he made her sisters immortal, and like, they didn't want that. I am very curious to see. I have heard things about the new book, like Court of Silver Flames, that just came out, that is about Nesta and Cassian's story, and I think in the next book, Nesta's not going to have a lot of time to process that she is immortal and she's now a fairy and like all that stuff, because she hates that. I think the new one's going to be very similar to this one, where like that's going to be traumatic for her, so she's going to have to deal, you know, go through those emotions and seeing them banter, and that'll be fun. But I'm very curious to see what's going to happen in the next one, because Feyre has been made High Lady of the Night Court. They went and did fancy things, and so like she and him, she is in Feyre, him as in Rhys. They went and were bonded, kind of, because like he made her his lady, and now she's a spy in the Spring Court. I don't know why I keep getting those confused. Spring Court with Tamlin. It's like, I'm stressed. So yeah, I'm interested to see, like, I can see this taking on a lot more plot stuff in the third one, because she's now going to be in his court, and also he sold everyone out to the king of Hyperion, who's like the bad guy, and also all these human queens are idiots. So there's also that. But yeah, there's a lot that just like all of a sudden happened really, really quickly, and I liked the last two chapters, because one was from Rhys's point of view, and then it was back in Feyre's point of view, which is what this entire series is. But it was really cool to see kind of like this last minute switch as to what the plot is going to do, because we're like, oh crap, now Rhys and Feyre are no longer bonded, and there's going to be this, it's just going to be a lot harder for them to get back to each other, and like, did he actually see that she was doing it to protect him? And then he's like, just kidding guys, it's fine, we're still mated and everything, and also she's my High Lady, so yay. And that's just, I love that they did that. I love that she wrote those last two chapters in, as they like, oh, by the way, this thing is also happening, okay, bye, which was just kind of fun. So I'm very glad that I'm gonna give myself a few days before I read the next one, because I need to know, I need answers, I need them. But I think I want to give myself a few days, put a couple of books in between that one and this one, so that I don't kind of just like plow through. So I did give myself a couple of weeks between the first one and then this one. And I think I can't wait that long because I need to know what's going to happen, but I can give myself a few days. So I'm going to give myself just a few days, read a couple other things, maybe some manga, some short things in between, so that I can kind of like process the end of this book, and then we're going to pick up ACOWAR in a few days. So I'll come back to you when I have when I'm going to start that one, but this one was incredible. I understand why this one just kind of like changes the entire structure of the series. I understand. I think I like this one more than the first one. It still got 5 stars like the first one did, but I think it's a higher 5-star. It was incredible. I loved it. I loved it. So I'll come back when I have started the third one. Hello! It is Wednesday. I forgot what time it was, what day it is. Today I woke up and I thought it was Friday. It's been a day and I've only been awake for like 2 hours. But I'm here because I'm going to start ACOMAF today, and I'm very, very excited. I just like all of a sudden last night I was like, I need to start this book. I just had this like urge that I needed to start this book. So we're gonna do that. It's not quite 100 pages longer than ACOMAF, but I do have the audiobook of it, so I'm really not that worried about it. But yeah, I'm so excited. So predictions. Let's talk a little bit about my predictions for this book. I know that the new one that just came out, Silver Flames, follows Nesta and Cassian's story. And I suspect that we're going to be seeing a lot of scenes between Nesta and Cassian. Or at least I hope we are, because their banter in the past book was everything that I want in life, and I just can't wait to see the two of them again. So I expect that we're not going to tackle her being immortal very much in this book. I suspect that that will be what Silver Flames is about, is her, like, because of like the pending war that's going to happen, they're so focused on like that she's not going to have time to process that she is now fairy until all of that has been solved and figured out. And so that's what I think the third one's going to be about, or the new one, Silver Flames, is going to be about. But this one, I am going to struggle until we get scenes between Feyre and Rhys. That's really where it's at, because at the beginning, she's going to start, I mean, I haven't even read the back to know what this is about, but based on what happened at the end of the last book, she's going to start in the spring. So I always say this wrong. The spring court. Tamlin is spring. Wow. In the spring court with Tamlin, and just to be like a spy because he kind of sided with the King of Hyperion in the last book, which I completely understand why she would do that. And she does still have the bond with Rhys, which is great. So like, you know, maybe there's no like mind link there anymore, but there's at least feeling links, and so like that'll be interesting. I hope they can still pass their letters back and forth. That would be super cute. But I'm very curious to see how it's going to work. I am fascinated by the Lucien and Elaine plotline. My theory with them is that Lucien claimed that Elaine is his mate when he like saw her come out of the cauldron, and I think that that's not going to end well. I don't think Elaine will get with him, honestly. I know there's a third character that I've seen around. There's like a Gwendolyn or like a Gwen name that I've seen in relation to Azriel, and so I don't know who that is. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a love triangle with Azriel and Elaine and this Gwen human that we haven't met yet, and that kind of stresses me. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but I don't see it ending well with her and Lucien. I don't. Honestly, I see Lucien dying at the end of this book, and her being fine, because she's still like super young and innocent and processing the fact that she is also immortal, which I didn't see coming. I knew Nesta had to do something happen at the end of the first book, which made Nesta have to stay with the Fays. I didn't know that's what it was going to be, but I knew that was a thing, and I didn't realize that Elaine was going to be part of that. I have no idea what's going to happen with this war. but Feyre's got some powers, and I'm very interested to see how she's gonna deal with being in the spring court for a little bit, because Tamlin trusts her, but Tamlin's also an idiot, so we don't like Tamlin, but like he trusts her that she has been under a spell this whole time, and Lucien does not. He does not believe that is what happened. He believes that she is like two-timing them, basically, which is exactly what she's doing, but I'm just very curious what's gonna happen there. And I would love for Lucien to peace out and like leave Tamlin, to like leave his court and like join Rhys's people, but I don't see that happening anytime soon either. So those are just a few of my thoughts going into this book. I'm very excited to start. I will let you know along the way. I feel like there's going to be a lot more plot stuff happening in this book, and I'm just going to be there for all of the tension, and I, like I said, will not be happy until I see my favorite Rhys scenes. So we'll see. When, I swear, if they like keep them apart until like the last 100 pages, I'm going to be so mad. Hello, it is, I have no idea, like 2 days later, I think, but I wanted to update you on my progress with ACOWAR. I stopped in the middle of a chapter. I mean, I'm at a break, but I stopped in the middle of a chapter. That was not smart. Chapter 18, so I am 190, almost 200 pages in. Bless. When I started this, I sat down and read like 150 pages of this book because I wanted to get to a portion. I wanted to see if we would get to a portion earlier in the book where Feyre and Rhys come into the same place. Basically, like, does she leave the spring court really early in the book, or does she stay in the spring court a very long time before she leaves for Rhys's and like the night court and stuff? And so I've already like tabbed a ton. Like, there are so many awesome moments in this book already. I liked her moment with, I like that Lucien went with her. I did not see that coming. I thought that he was going to be a dick and stay, but he went with her when she left for the night court. And it was kind of fun to see all of her plans play out, because like we'd seen little things that she was doing, and I was like, okay, I see that, like, for example, she was making Tamlin think that she and Lucien were kind of a thing. And I mean, not really, but like a little bit. And so I was curious to see like what the purpose of that was and like why she was making that. And so it's just like all the little things that she was doing, and then when they like all came to fruition a little bit, it was like, oh, bless. And then the moment on the ice when they were in the winter court, they had just passed from the autumn court to the winter court, and they'd met like all of Lucien's brothers. And that moment when she revealed that she was the High Lady, I was like, this is the best thing ever. And like, I was so stressed. I like squealed when Azriel and Cassian showed up to kind of like save the day. And then when she revealed that she was the High Lady, I was like, like I had so many emotions. And then the moment when she and Rhys were in the same place again, and then she hugged Mor when she saw like all of the little kind of like homecoming moments of like when she saw Mor for the first time, they hugged. When she saw Amren for the first time, like obviously she's not gonna hug Amren, but like there was some kind of like connection there. And then when she saw Rhys for the first time, and when she saw Azriel for the first time, and it was just, that's what I wanted. Like, I wanted to get to that point so that, like, anything beyond that would be fine. Like, we're good now. Like, I'm in a happy place. But right now, where I'm currently at is they have, she's been in the night court for like a day or two, I think. She's gone to see her sisters. She sees the connection between Nesta and Cassian, and Elaine's just kind of like hanging out in her room. They've had like a big meeting, and they've decided that they need to get all of the high lords together to talk about, to see like who's on their side and who's not, and try to talk about what they're going to do about Hybern. So they've sent out all of the invitations, and so then they go to dinner to try to see if they can get Nesta on board with doing something, because she's got something. Like, they all can see that she has some sort of power. We just don't know what it is. So I'm curious to see kind of like what that's going to be. And so like she basically has asked, Feyre has asked Azriel to teach her how to fly, and she has gotten Nesta involved somehow. She's going to go to the Court of Nightmares, actually, and that's going to be an interesting situation, because the Court of Nightmares stresses me out, which I feel like is the normal response to have when any scene happens at the Court of Nightmares. And I'm curious what's going to happen the next time Feyre goes to the Court of Nightmares, because the last time she was there, she was basically like Rhys's whore, is how they described her. She just kind of like slept with him. But now that she's High Lady, are they going to reveal that to the people of the Court of Nightmares? Because like they really don't like her. So like that's probably not advantageous. So is she going to have to play that character again? I don't know what's going to happen. Be interesting. But it's also interesting to see Lucian kind of realizing that Rhys is actually a good guy, and like seeing Phalaris and seeing like the happy world and not like the Court of Nightmares, and then kind of understanding that the Court of Nightmares exists, and that's the kind of story they've told the world that Rhys is like, to kind of keep the world in fear of the Night Court. But actually like the Night Court is this like super happy place except for this one specific spot. So I am very interested. I am very interested to see where this is going to go, but that's my update. I've made it almost 200 pages in, and I'm just happy they're together again. Like, that's where I'm at. Hello, I'm here because I finished ACOWAR, and we're going to talk about it. I apologize if you can hear my husband mowing the lawn. He decided that this was going to be a good time for him to do it, so I finished ACOTAR. Sorry, ACOWAR while he did that. And I have lots of thoughts. I thought I was going to update you more while I read this, and I did not. Apologies. But I read a ton of this in the last couple of days. I read some over the weekend. I read some yesterday, and I have finished it today. So this was fantastic. It got 5 stars. Are we surprised? I can't tell if this one or the second one is my favorite. I think that'll take some real thinking. Probably the second one, just because war is such a big part of this story, and war is not my favorite thing to read about, but like I didn't mind it too much here because like it wasn't, I don't know, like it didn't go on too long. I'm thinking possibly the second one, but they all in the series got 5 stars. And I feel, just finishing this, I feel good. Like, I feel satisfied. I feel like this was a great ending. I feel like there's lots of things that we still have to talk about in the upcoming books. I know there's a small, I keep calling it a novella, and I'm not even sure if it is, but Frost and Starlight, which is more like short story-esque, which I guess is a novella. And apparently there's something in there that's like important for the next book, but like you can skip that most times. But like I'm in love with the series, and obviously I'm going to read it, but like I don't think I could have read this series as it came out. I think I was going to have to like, I think binging it in the last couple of months was the best decision for me, because I just really enjoyed it, especially after the events of the second book, and then like how the second book ended. I like immediately needed answers, and so I'm not sure I could have waited whatever the distance between the second and the third book is, because it was so good. I'm sure you saw most of my reactions. I tried to film it, but I was not prepared. I thought someone important was going to die. I did not expect that person to be Reese. Thank God he came back to life, but like I did not expect that. That's no. But I do kind of, I don't like that he died, obviously, but I like that he was brought back very similarly to how Faber was brought back in the first book, because it, I don't know, there's like something about that just kind of like connects the two of them even more. It really kind of puts an ending to kind of her and Tamlin a little bit, as far as like he's hated her for 2 books straight, basically, and well, he didn't hate her in the second book, but he hated her basically through most of this book. And he just kind of was like, saw what her reaction was when Reese died versus I think what her reaction was when she was under the mountain in the first book, and how much stronger it is with Reese, and finally just kind of like let that go. I like that there is some hints to Nesta and Cassian, which I expect will be explored a lot in the new book. And I like that we are not given an answer on whether Elaine and Lucian are going to be a thing. I think Elaine's going to get a book. I think that'll be the next one that comes out after the one that just came out, Silver Flames. Is that the new one? Yeah. My theory, and I have absolutely no idea, I have not read anything about them, I don't know, but if the next one that just came out was about Nesta, I expect there to be one about Elaine, and I would love for there to be one about Moore. I think that would be really cool. I did like seeing her story as well, like when she and Feyre were having this conversation about like why she was kind of stringing Azriel along, but like not really. That felt realistic as far as like being scared to come out to a family, I would think. I don't know, obviously, from like personal experience, but I would assume that that is very similar, her thoughts and being scared, to some people's coming out stories. I'd love to see that conversation happen, and whether or not Moore's gonna find someone. But yeah, this was fan-freaking-tastic. I'm so happy that I finished it. Like I said, there's definitely some stuff that is coming. Like, we have the threat of all the queens still, which I expect will be probably a plot line in the next book, if not beyond that. I'm not even sure what the next book's about. I purposely haven't read the synopsis, but I guess I can now. So, like, that's an issue. There's also an issue of, like, creating this new treaty for the like human versus fae lands and how they're gonna like interact with each other. So I'm curious about that. I kind of saw that coming. If everything turned out okay in this book, which it kind of did, seeing that conversation coming from Feyre. So that's interesting. I expect Nesta to be a big part of that, even though she's got like that title of emissary. to the human realm or something. Humans are really important to her, so I feel like she's going to be a big part of this project. She's going to have a lot of healing to do. I thought her healing was going to have to be like her coming to terms with the fact that she's Fae, which I feel like she is going to have to come to terms with part of that. I feel like she's not fully accepted her Fae status yet, I guess, for lack of the better word. I feel like she has, in the sense of like she can now function, but beyond that, I feel like we're gonna have some stuff. But their dad, when the moment that the dad showed up, that was so good. I did not expect that. I honestly didn't think we were gonna see the dad ever again. I assumed that was just a plot point that we would forget about. But it came full circle, and he was important, and I loved that so much. And then he immediately died, which sucked a lot. But his death, especially after he kind of came back for all of them, but like I feel like he came back for Nesta specifically, and so having that moment of realization and like probably being proud of your father for the first time in years, and then him immediately dying in front of you, there's going to be a lot of trauma talk in the next one. And like I knew that coming into this series, like that's something that I know is going to be a big conversation in the second book, but I thought it was going to be about something completely different. So that'll be a big thing, I think. But it's been so fun. I'm so glad I finally read this series. I'm now utterly obsessed and destroyed. Yeah, this was great. I'm a happy human. I hope you enjoyed my kind of spoilery thoughts. I feel like my ACOTAR vlog was significantly better than this one. But I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. Let me know if there's other books you would like me to read that are popular and do vlogs on. Let me know. Or just your thoughts on ACOTAR. Tell me all of the things. But if you liked this video, and I very much hope that you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you want to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there, as well as other fun bookish links, so don't forget to go check all of those out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!